Hey guys, how are you? Beast here, bringing you a game of Overwatch today. Actually, it's two games, or two halves of a game. So, right now I'm playing as Roadhog, which is a big tank character. Basically, my point is to just get up in the middle of the fight and just absorb a bunch of damage. So he's got this two-barrel gun. Left click is a shotgun. Right click is it's like a choked shotgun, basically. And then I have a hook that I can heal people. I can have a hook that I can grab people with, and I have a self-heal, which heals me a lot. So I'm playing as him, and then what I noticed here is that there was no DPS characters, which is a damage per second. There's no characters who are in the offensive category, so we're all running defensive characters and tanks, which is just, I mean, it's not acceptable. Like, honestly, I've never seen this problem before in Overwatch. Almost surely in Overwatch, the bigger issue is that everybody wants to play DPS. So as soon as you get into the game, like the moment the game starts, it's just a rush to see who can pick the DPS players first. So I always play tank and support characters so that because I don't have to worry about DPS, and I don't have the greatest aim yet anyway, since I'm, still fairly new to PC. So, but what I noticed there was, we were playing as a group, so I grouped up with these guys at the last game, and I realized we didn't have any DPS characters. So, that's not a recipe to win, because you can't kill anybody if you don't have DPS characters. I mean, some of the characters can do some DPS, but, definitely not like this guy's Soldier. This is really my best DPS character, just because he's pretty plain and simple. He's got a sprint, which I like, which no other characters have. He's just got this assault rifle, and then he's got a rocket, which is my right click, and you'll see me use that. I'll point out when I use it. See, so that character that was flying around in the air, that's Farah, and that's pretty much the person I need to be watching out for. That's why I switched, because I was like, man, dude, she's flying up in the air, like, what's going on here? And I look at the lineup, and we have no DPS characters, so that would be why. So look how fast I melt her, right? So that's a tank right there, and I just melted her. So, and here comes a rocket. There's my self-heal I just dropped. That was a rocket I just fired. And so now I have my ult, which is the little thing at the bottom of the screen. That's fully charged, and with him, I want to use it sooner rather than later. That's cool, I just got revived. Normally I'd have to respawn, which is not a huge deal because it's right back there, but that Mercy, the healer, revived me. So right here I just called it in. I took out her, the other team's healer, and then I took out the Farah. And couldn't quite get that guy there, but so these were fun games. Like I said, I almost always play tank or support. In fact, that's pretty much all I do. I will occasionally play Soldier, but pretty rarely, like, once a week or something. And so, you'll see right here, they're getting really close. And in this case, I'm going to take out the Mercy first. I'm going to prioritize her because as long as she's flying around healing everybody, she can do this, like, lock-on thing where she, like, flies, 50 yards or whatever and gets right up next to the person so she can heal them. So if she's flying around, it's very, very, very difficult to kill anybody. And so I decided to prioritize her and get her out of there first. I don't think I killed her, but we just got pushed back, and then now we stopped that push from them. So now you can see the payload's moving backwards. So we're in decent shape now, as long as we're set up correctly. The craziest thing about this game, and the reason I like it so much now, is because it's so coordinated. It has to be so coordinated. See, there's that flying. See, there was the big tank who was flying again. I just took her out again. So there's Farah. I can see her flying around over there. And I'm basically just using this for cover because I don't want to die. It's amazing how much coordination is required. Now, this is just a quick play game, which is just like a random... man, you can see me hitting 80 degrees right there on my graphics card. But it's even in quick play, which is like just this casual version, and as low level as I am, I'm playing at a fairly low level quick play, so it's not very hard. The guys are not as coordinated at this level, but in order to do things, you have to be coordinated. Like, you have to get a coordinated attack between, 3-4 people. There's absolutely no chance you can... See, she just... came in. I don't even think she got anybody with that. But you can see I have a guy dropping a shield right there. And I have other players up here who are helping me. Some of them are just kind of doing some damage. Some of them are healing. See, I got another ult right there, so I'll use that when I get closer to the end. So when it gets to the end of the 50 seconds, if they're still on the point, it goes to overtime, and overtime is almost unlimited. Almost unlimited. And so I don't want to use the ult right now. That's too soon. So I'm going to just keep hanging on the point, keep using it for cover, because, you know, not dying is important. You know, of course it's a fast-paced game and stuff, but if you die, this one is not so bad because we're really close to the end. As you can see that bar right there, they're actually super close to getting it in. Because of that, I basically spawned relatively close to this thing, but... Okay, so she just put down her ult, which is that little supercharger thing on the ground that's connecting me with a beam. It gives us all a little bit of a damage boost and a little bit of a defense boost. So I felt like right here is a safe time to use it. And, don't know how many I got. I don't know if I even got any of them there, but... So, that was good. That was a good game. Like I said, good job, good game. Yeah, I mean, that was... The games are always hairy. So as you can see, I ended up getting gold objective time with not very much time, but... hero damage, I got a bronze. Healing, I got a silver. And that's from the self-heal that I was doing earlier. And then also, soldier there that I was just playing, it also has a self-heal. So I got that. I mean, that's not really that great, but... Just the fact that I switched, I feel like, won it for us, because we didn't have anyone else who was doing any of the DPS. So here you go. So 10 eliminations, 8 deaths. So 10 and 8. That's not the best score, but I was really struggling as Roadhog. As you see, I only had 33% hook accuracy, only had a 2 kill streak. So I wasn't doing that well. But then when I switched to Soldier, I went 7 and 4. So I decided to stay with him. Maybe I think I already stayed with him, though. So I think that was another guy we added. So I was going to do a second match that I played as Roadhog. It's a really good match, but this was actually a really good match too. Where I had mostly golds. So I'm going to run with this one too. So as you see, those 4 guys who are yellow, those are the guys I'm playing with. And yeah, we just, you know, there's an option to like stay as a team. You can just say, hey, let's stay as a team, and then it gives me a little notification, and I agreed to stay with them. And so we were doing okay, but like I said, this is a really low-level quick play. Like, quick play is just casual, but the people I'm getting matched with are fairly low-level. And I feel like I can actually do stuff when I play against them, so in some ways it's a practice. But in other ways it's not, because, you know, I'm not really playing against the highest quality opponents. But then again, I'm not high quality myself, so... It's basically how it works out, but, yeah. So, here I was trying to sign in my email. Dudes, I don't even... Spent some time trying to do that. It was very frustrating. I hate how things time out eventually. Like, if you have something open on a computer or whatever, it just eventually times out. It's kind of annoying. Or like on your phone or anything, you know what I mean? Like, you can have in your email, but it's like eventually it'll just like perma time out, and then... It won't let me see what my password is, so I don't know, whatever. It's a whole other issue. So as you can see, I'm still just sitting here like a great person. And my graphics card's running really hot. 79 degrees is pretty toasty. It was hitting 80 last game, and that's way too warm for me. I can't do that. And you know, I mean, I've been looking into it and seriously considering getting a new case, because it's really just, I feel like it's the case, but I'm not sure. I'm a little unsure, because I really like the case that I have. I love the look of it, but it's just not doing it for me. And it's not like, I mean, I guess I do need the performance, you know, but it's really more a noise issue for me right now. See, I just completely destroyed her by myself. That's what that means when you see the elimination, like that's 76. That means I did 76% of the damage to eliminate that person. he's just spraying with Junkrat, who's like a grenade launcher killer. He's just sitting there spraying.
Mission ain't over yet.
Gotta throw myself healing there because I was getting destroyed. And then we get her out of her suit, out of her mech there. There she is right there. She's super weak once she comes out of there. So I thought I could push up, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna... Wait, no, maybe not this one. But in order for her to get back in there, she has to earn a bunch of points. So usually she's super weak when she's not in there. But yeah, and I mean, I don't play Soldier very much, so it was weird because the first couple weeks I played the game, I played as him because I feel like I knew him, and then also we played like a PvE, and I felt like I got to know him pretty well. But now that I've started taking the game more seriously, the last 2 weeks, where I've learned, see, this was totally a waste on my part. So I use this ult. What it does is it gives you auto lock on, so you don't even have to aim. I mean, you have to aim in the general area of the person, but it locks on all the bullets. So you can just melt them like that. You can shoot usually 2 clips and a rocket, which is 50 rounds in a rocket. And you can take out everybody. But I thought there were more there, and it ended up just being him. But so once I made the decision to play as like a couple characters this week, I learned a support character named Zenyatta, who I really like. I think he's my favorite character, actually. And then I learned a tank called Zarya. And now I'm learning the tank Roadhog. And also I was learning the healer, a support character called Moira. But anyway, since I've been doing that, since I've actually made the focus to do that, and I basically played every day, I've pretty much progressed as much in the last like week and a half as I did in the previous like month or so, or 6 weeks. So I feel very much more at home now playing than I did before. So all these characters, so Soldier, and then the other character, Diva, that was my #1 character. I realized I don't really know how to play those characters. Even though I have more playtime with them than I do with the new characters that I've been learning, I realize I really don't know how to play them that well.
I don't quit till the fight.
Because it's not even necessarily just about learning the character and the abilities and stuff. It's also about learning what your character should be doing, because each character basically has a role that you should be playing. See, I thought I got out of the way of that, but I didn't. Even watching the kill cam, look, just like as soon as I heard him, yeah. But anyway, still got me. So each character has like specific things they can and can't do. So there are certain characters who are countered by certain other characters. Like I was saying toward the end of that last game, this guy Soldier is a DPS character, and that means he's responsible for basically dealing as much damage as possible, killing people like that. And I think this might be the one where I chase her. No, not this one either. But the other, like anybody who's flying around, or anybody who's really big, it's my job to just deal as much damage to them as possible. But I do have, there are counters to me. There are people who can come around quickly around the back. There are people who can do all sorts of stuff. So as you see, like, the time's running out. We only have 16 seconds. And if you see the objective A there, we've only captured 1/3 of it. So that's where I followed her and I ended up messing up. Which was a really poor decision on my part. One of the tips that one of the guys who I've been checking out on YouTube said was to watch back your own games, because it helps you learn, and that's a learning experience for me right there. I should not have been doing that, but luckily I spawned close. As you see, the overtime meter is staying up, so that's because we have players on there. So there's my ult right. Oh, see, terrible, right? I was not in a good position there. As soon as I used it, he was right here next to me. He just shot me. I was standing completely still. Check this out. See that? Just destroyed me. So that's two times right there where my team basically saved me. And you see how close we are right there? We're like a sliver. Okay, and now we got it. So now we get our time extension. Now we get to push this. And yeah, see, look, I try to type nice and I have caps lock on. So I turn it off and I can't spell, and then I hit L, delete it, hit L again. I'm such an idiot. But now we get to push it, so now, what I noticed immediately was no one was pushing it. It's like we're just standing here killing people and no one's pushing it. We could have already pushed it to the door by this point, but instead, everyone's just sitting around doing nothing. So I couldn't tell there. I have gold hero damage. I could tell when I bring up the menu screen there. See, that was a perfect ult by him. Nailed 3 of us. We were just standing there waiting at the door, and he just nailed it from the side. It was beautiful.
These old dogs learned a few tricks.
Beautiful. So I've really been loving the game. Like I said, I played it every day. Watch this kill right here. Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. And then I get hit, and I'm like, man, what's going on here? That was him using his ult right there. So now he's in a tank mode, and I couldn't quite finish him off, but he's super low. So he basically wasted the ult because I don't even think. It looks like he got 1 person there in the corner, but I don't think he got anyone else. Maybe he did get 2 there. But he was out of the ult. So at this point, I'm like thinking, what is going on here? Like, we went from that second checkpoint. I've been escorting it by myself. Look how far back my team is. They're not doing anything. It's completely empty up here. There's no resistance. And the team could have been with me. It moves faster the more people you have on it. Up to 3. So we could have been moving it up the whole time. And instead, they were just hanging back there doing nothing. Oh, no, this is a cool little sequence. Watch. I'm like, oh, I'm almost dead. So I back around. I'm like, oh, I'm almost dead. I almost got him. And I stopped, and of course that's why I died. But now my team shows up after I just pushed it. As a DPS character, and luckily I get revived right there. As a DPS character, your job is not to be pushing the load. You know, your job is to be killing guys and putting a lot of damage out so that the guys think twice before rushing right up to you. So that the tanks, the big guys should be pushing it, or that guy who's sitting on it, they should be the ones pushing it. So it kind of sucks that they weren't doing it, but again, that's why I wanted to do this clip, because she's about to get out of there. So see, now she's super weak. Well, she's super low there. Someone finished her off. So that's why I wanted to bring this game, because this was good. It was like a rough game. We almost missed the point. So the game almost ended there. If we hadn't have captured that point, the game would have been over. But we did, and so the game's not over. So now we're pushing the payload, and if we don't push the payload within the 2-minute period, it's also over. That's such a terrible death on my part. But it was just a really close game, and, you know, I love competitive games, and I've been able to just sort of accept losing a little bit of this game because I'm really new to it, and I don't, you know, I'm not 100% familiar with how to, oh, see, I almost had him, his health is so low. I don't completely understand how to play the game, and so I'm still learning, so I've been able to sort of, like, let it go a little bit losing, but I really hate losing, and I'm very competitive, so once I learn a couple more characters, I'm going to go back into the competitive mode. And see, like, here we go. I'm going to be shooting at the healer there because that's my job. And I can't quite get her. So I'm debating whether or not to use my ult here. And I want to, but I can see there's not a ton of guys there. You generally want to use it when there's a couple of guys out. That way you can hit, you know, multiple guys. And, yeah, he got me there. Luckily, again, teammate revives me. Good avoid on my part to avoid the death, but then I end up getting trapped in the corner here. But, yeah, I mean, about my graphics card, as I see in the corner again, there's 78, 79. I think that's too hot. You know, I mean, I'm pushing the card really hard. I have everything completely maxed out at 4K. And I'm pushing it as hard as I can. And so it's, you know, it's up there in the 90s for usage, which, you know, obviously makes it hot. And I have it, you know, overclocked as high as I can go. So it's boosting up pretty high. And it's running hot. And it's just, you know, I don't necessarily need the performance. I mean, I have my frames capped, as you can see up there on the left. It's just sticking between 69 and 70, and sometimes 60. But that's because I only have a 60 hertz monitor, so it's not going to go any further than that. But it's really a noise issue. When I'm playing the game, I have these new open back headphones, and they don't block out a ton of sound. There's one. See, that was a waste on my part of the ult. Should have saved it. But okay, see, so we're pushing right here, and again, you know, there's no one on it. And finally, the healer realizes that I'm on it. She comes up here, revives him, so he's on it. And then I just killed their healer right there. And that was the 5-kill streak. And ends up securing it and getting it right in. So, anyway, but just been looking at a new case because I feel like 79's too hot. probably will degrade the life of my card eventually over time, or by it running that hot. 80 is not completely ridiculously hot, but I mean, obviously, if it's running at 80 instead of 65, that's obviously, you know, putting a lot more stress on the card itself. So, I don't know. We'll see how that goes. No, I mean, I don't mind spending 150 bucks on a new case or whatever, but, you know, I don't know that I necessarily need it. So, if you look right there, you see I have all those gold medals, and I think one of these guys tries to say that he had more golds or something, and I end up having a little chat with him like, hey, what are you talking about? Maybe that was a different game. No, that was a different game, I think. But anyway, okay, well, thank you guys for checking this out. Appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed this one. I've really been enjoying this game, so I'm sure there's going to be more content to come from this game. Check out the other videos on my channel if you guys want to see other stuff, Call of Duty, Forza, and some other Overwatch, PUBG stuff. And appreciate it, guys. I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks so much. Skrrt.